The silent watchers, Captain Elena Vasquez, stared at the twisted metal that had once been New Prosperity Colony. The merchant vessel New Dawn drifted silently through the debris field, her sensors picking up nothing but death and destruction. 3 weeks ago, this place had been home to 15,000 miners and their families. Now it was nothing but scattered wreckage floating in the cold void of space. "Captain, I'm reading the same energy signatures we found at the other sites," reported Dr. Marcus Webb from his position at the science station. His voice carried the weight of someone who had seen too much destruction in too short a time. "Whatever did this, it's the same force that hit Kepler Station and Haven Ridge." Elena nodded grimly. 3 colonies in 3 weeks, all wiped out with surgical precision. No distress calls, no survivors, no explanation. The outer rim of human space was becoming a graveyard, and nobody seemed to know why. "Any sign of who's responsible?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. "Negative, Captain. Same as before. The attack patterns suggest advanced plasma weaponry, but the energy signatures don't match anything in our databases. This isn't pirates or raiders. This is something else entirely." Elena's hands tightened on the armrests of her command chair. The New Dawn was just a merchant ship, equipped for trade runs and cargo transport, not military operations. But with the Earth Defense Force spread thin across dozens of systems, civilian vessels like hers were often the first to encounter threats on the frontier. "Lieutenant Morrison, any word from Earth Command?" She called to her communications officer, Jake. Morrison, barely 25 and fresh from the academy, shook his head. "Still nothing, Captain. Our messages are getting through, but all we're receiving back are automated acknowledgements. No orders, no fleet movements, nothing." The silence from Earth was almost as disturbing as the destroyed colonies. For months now, the outer settlements had been reporting strange sensor readings and unexplained disappearances. But Earth seemed to be ignoring their pleas for help, leaving the rim worlds to fend for themselves. "Captain," Morrison's voice cracked with tension, "I'm picking up multiple contacts approaching from the galactic north. Large ships, moving in formation." Elena's blood ran cold. "How many?" 12. ... "No, 15 contacts. They're big, Captain. Dreadnought class, at least. Red alert. All hands to battle stations, though I doubt it'll matter much." Elena's voice was steady despite the fear gnawing at her chest. The New Dawn had defensive shields and a few pulse cannons, but against a fleet of dreadnoughts, they might as well throw rocks. The approaching ships materialized on the main screen as sleek, predatory vessels unlike anything in human design. Their hulls were dark gray with flowing lines that seemed to curve and twist in ways that hurt to look at. Energy patterns danced along their surfaces like living lightning. "Incoming transmission, Captain," Morrison reported, his voice barely above a whisper. "Put it through." The screen flickered, and Elena found herself looking at something that made her stomach turn. The alien was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that seemed to shift between purple and black. Its eyes were compound like an insect's, and when it spoke, its voice was like grinding metal. "Human vessel, you will identify yourself and state your purpose in this system." Elena straightened in her chair, drawing on every ounce of command training she possessed. "I am Captain Elena Vasquez of the merchant vessel New Dawn. We're investigating the destruction of our colonies." "Who are you, and what have you done to our people?" The alien's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "I am Commander Dexler of the Hegemony Fleet. Your people were trespassing in space, that now belongs to us. They were warned to leave. They chose not to listen. Warned. We received no warnings. These are human colonies, established decades ago under the Frontier Accords. Your accords mean nothing to us. This region of space has been claimed by the hegemony. All human presence will be removed, by choice or by force. Alina felt her heart pounding, but she kept her voice level. And if we refuse? Commander Wexler-S. Compound eyes seemed to glitter with malice. Then you will join your colonies in the void. You have one standard day to broadcast a message to all human settlements in this region. Tell them to evacuate immediately, or they will be cleansed, like the others. The transmission cut off, leaving Alina staring at a blank screen. Around her, the bridge crew sat in stunned silence. Captain, Dr. Webb said quietly, their technology is at least 50 years ahead of ours, maybe more. Those ships could wipe out our entire frontier fleet without breaking formation. Alina knew he was right. The hegemony vessels showed energy readings that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. Their weapons could probably crack a planet if they wanted to. Morrison. Open a channel to Earth Command. Priority Alpha. Channel open, Captain. Alina took a deep breath. Earth Command, this is Captain Alina Vasquez, aboard the merchant vessel New Dawn, position Kepler 779. We have made contact with a hostile alien force, calling themselves the Hegemony. They have destroyed 3 of our colonies and are demanding the evacuation of all human settlements in the Outer Rim. They've given us 24 hours to comply or face annihilation. Request immediate assistance. Repeat, request immediate assistance. She nodded to Morrison, who closed the channel. Now there was nothing to do but wait. The hours crawled by like years. The hegemony fleet maintained position at the edge of the system, their dark ships pulsing with barely contained energy. Alina ordered continuous scans, hoping to find some weakness, some flaw they could exploit. But the alien vessels seemed perfect, untouchable. Captain, Morrison called out after 16 hours of nerve-wracking silence, I'm receiving a response. From Earth Command, Alina's heart leaped. Put it through. But instead of the face of an Earth Admiral or the reassuring sight of a defense fleet, all they received was a brief text message. Message received. Maintain position. Help is coming. That was it. No fleet deployment orders, no tactical instructions, no timeline for assistance. Just 4 words. Help is coming. Dr. Webb frowned at his instruments. Captain, I'm detecting some unusual sensor readings at the extreme edge of our detection range. It's very faint, but there's something out there. Hegemony, reinforcements. I don't think so. The energy signatures are different, smaller, and they're not moving like the hegemony ships. These contacts seem to be ... drifting. Alina studied the sensor display, but the contacts were too faint to make out clearly. Whatever was out there was running silent, barely registering on their instruments as the 24-hour deadline approached. Commander Dexler contacted them again. His image filled the screen, as menacing as before. Human Captain, has your species decided to abandon this region peacefully? Alina straightened her shoulders. We're waiting for instructions from our government. We need more time. Time is a luxury you no longer possess. Your colonies have been given the same choice we offer you now. Submit or be destroyed. What about the innocent people, the families, the children? Weakness, Dexler hissed. Your species values the lives of individuals over the strength of the whole. This is why you will fall. This is why you deserve to be cleansed from this galaxy. The transmission ended, and Alina felt something cold settle in her stomach. The hegemony wasn't just expanding territory. They were conducting genocide, wiping out entire populations because they saw humanity as weak and unworthy. "Captain," Dr. Webb called out urgently. "Those sensor contacts I detected earlier, they're moving fast." On the long-range display, Alina watched as dozens of faint contacts began accelerating toward their position. They moved with purpose now, no longer drifting but racing through space at speeds that should have been impossible. "Are they human?" she asked. I don't know, Captain. The energy signatures are unlike anything I've ever seen. They're not broadcasting any identification signals." As Alina watched the mysterious contacts approach, she realized that whatever was about to happen would change everything. The hegemony had given humanity an ultimatum, expecting them to run or die. But something was coming from the depths of space, something that had been waiting and watching. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of human civilization. And somewhere in the darkness between the stars, shadows were stirring, shadows that carried the hopes and fury of an entire species that refused to kneel. Alina gripped her command chair and whispered a prayer to whatever gods might be listening. Because in a few hours, they were all going to find out what happened when you pushed humanity too far. The countdown to confrontation had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk. When Earth answers, the mysterious contacts emerged from the void like ghosts materializing from a nightmare. Alina Vasquez watched in stunned silence as ship after ship dropped out of whatever impossible stealth technology they had been using. These weren't the sleek, predatory vessels of the hegemony. These were something else entirely. "Captain," Dr. Webb's voice was barely a whisper, "I count 47 vessels. They're not showing up on conventional sensors. If I wasn't running a quantum resonance scan, we wouldn't even know they were there." The ships were black as the space between stars, their hulls seeming to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved in perfect formation, like a school of deep-sea predators gliding through dark waters. No running lights, no energy signatures, no communications, just silent, lethal presence. "Are they human?" Alina asked, though part of her already knew the answer. "The quantum signatures suggest human origin, but Captain... these ships shouldn't exist. The technology required to achieve this level of stealth would require breakthroughs we haven't made yet." Suddenly, a new voice crackled. Through their communications system, calm and professional despite the circumstances. "Merchant Vessel New Dawn. This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force Nightfall Squadron. We have the situation under control. Please maintain your current position and prepare to witness justice." Alina's heart pounded. "Commander Chen, this is Captain Vasquez. Where did you come from? We've been monitoring space for hours. We've been here all along, Captain. We've been watching. We've been waiting. And now it's time to act." Before Alina could respond, the hegemony fleet began moving. Commander Vexler's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Unidentified vessels, you are trespassing in hegemony space. Identify yourselves immediately or be destroyed." Commander Chun's response was ice cold. "This is human space, and you are the trespassers. You have murdered innocent civilians. You have threatened our colonies. You have exactly one chance to leave our territory immediately." Vexler's harsh laugh echoed through the communication channels. "Your pathetic vessels cannot challenge the might of the hegemony. We number 15 dreadnoughts against your small collection of shadows. Surrender now, and your deaths will be swift." "No, Chen replied simply. You surrender or learn why. Earth doesn't send diplomats to deal with murderers. The hegemony fleet opened fire first, their massive plasma cannons unleashing torrents of destructive energy that could have vaporized entire cities. The space around the human fleet lit up like a supernova as the aliens poured everything they had into their attack. But when the light faded, the human ships were still there, completely unharmed. Impossible, Dexler screamed. Our sensors show direct hits. Alina watched in amazement as the truth became clear. The human vessels weren't just stealthed. They were using some kind of phase technology that allowed enemy fire to pass right through them. Dr. Webb, are you seeing this? Captain, those ships are shifting in and out of normal space-time. They're using quantum phase manipulation to become incorporeal during attacks, then rematerializing to return fire. The energy requirements alone should be impossible. Commander Chen's voice came through the communication system again, and this time Alina could hear something deadly in her tone. Nightfall Squadron, you were authorized to engage. Show them what happens when you threaten human children. What followed was not a battle, it was a demonstration. The human ships moved like living things, flowing around the hegemony formations with impossible grace. When they fired, their weapons didn't just destroy their targets, they did it with surgical precision. Alina watched as hegemony dreadnoughts were systematically dismantled, their weapon systems carefully targeted and destroyed while leaving life support intact. They're not trying to kill them, Alina realized. They're sending a message. One by one, the hegemony vessels were crippled and left floating helplessly in space. But the most terrifying part wasn't the technology, it was the complete silence from the human fleet. No battle cries, no communications, just cold, professional efficiency. Finally, only Vexler's flagship remained operational. Alina watched as a single human vessel approached the massive alien dreadnought, dwarfed by its size but somehow radiating menace. Commander Dexler Chun's voice was calm, conversational. My name is Sarah Chen. I want you to remember that name. I want you to remember this moment, because you're going to return to your people and tell them exactly what happened here. You, ... Your human, Dexler's voice was filled with something Alina had never expected to hear from the arrogant alien commander. Fear, yes, we're human. And you made a very serious mistake. You see, when you destroyed our colonies, you didn't just kill random people. You killed miners and farmers and teachers and doctors. You killed children who were just learning to walk. You killed grandparents who were telling bedtime stories. Alina felt chills run down her spine as Chen continued. You thought we were weak because we value individual lives. You thought our compassion made us vulnerable. But you misunderstood something fundamental about humanity. We don't just value life, we protect it. And when someone threatens our people, we don't send diplomats or negotiators. The human ship moved closer to the hegemony flagship, and Alina could see weapons charging along its hull. We send hunters, we send shadows, we send death itself to collect what's owed. What ... What are you? Dexler whispered. We are the answer to a question you should never have asked. We are what happens when you push a peaceful species too far. We are the nightmare that waits in the dark between stars, watching over our own. Suddenly, Alina realized what she was witnessing. These weren't just military ships. They were something far more terrifying. They were Earth's final answer to an indifferent galaxy. The ultimate expression of human determination and refusal to surrender. Commander Chen, Alina called out, who are you really? Chen's voice softened slightly when she answered. We are the ones who never left, Captain Vasquez. When the colonies were established, Earth didn't just send you out into the dark and forget about you. We've been watching, we've been waiting, and when threats emerged, we were ready. Dr. Webb looked up from his instruments with wide eyes. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy signatures throughout this entire region of space. There are hundreds of these ships out there, maybe thousands. They've been hidden all along. Alina felt her understanding of everything she thought she knew about humanity's expansion into space crumble and reshape. Earth hadn't abandoned the frontier. They had been protecting it all along, with guardians that moved unseen through the void. Commander Vexler, Chen continued, you will take your surviving ships and return to your space. You will tell your leaders that humanity claims these systems, and any further aggression will be met with overwhelming force. You will tell them that we offered you mercy today, but mercy is not weakness. It is strength, choosing restraint. And if we refuse, Dexler asked, though his voice had lost all its earlier arrogance, then you will discover that what you witnessed today was just the beginning. Earth has been preparing for threats like you for longer than your species has known spaceflight. Test us again, and you will face not just the Nightfall Squadron, but the full might of humanity's shadow fleet. The hegemony ships began retreating, their weapons powered down and their hulls scarred from the encounter. As they limped away into deep space, Alina felt a profound shift in her understanding of the galaxy. Humanity wasn't just surviving on the frontier. They were thriving, protected by guardians who moved unseen and struck without warning against those who threatened the innocent. Commander Chen, Alina called out as the mysterious human fleet began to fade back into whatever stealth technology concealed them. Will we see you again? You see us every day, Captain Vasquez. Every time you look out at the stars and feel safe despite the dangers lurking in the dark. Every time a colony ship reaches its destination without being attacked by pirates. Every time children can sleep peacefully on the frontier worlds. We are always there, always watching, always ready. As the last of the shadow ships vanished from sensors, Alina was left with a profound realization. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, filled with species like the hegemony who saw humanity as weak and vulnerable. But they were wrong. Humanity's strength wasn't in their weapons or their technology. It was in their refusal to abandon each other. It was in their determination to protect the innocent, even when it meant becoming monsters themselves. It was in their absolute certainty that some things were worth fighting for, and that mercy was not surrender. Dr. Webb looked up from his console with something like awe in his voice. Captain, I'm receiving new orders from Earth Command. We're to proceed to the Outer Rim colonies and begin reconstruction efforts. Full support and protection are guaranteed. Alina smiled for the first time in days. The hegemony had asked for mercy, expecting humanity to kneel before superior firepower. Instead, they had learned that when pushed to the edge, humans didn't send white flags. They sent shadows. They sent justice. They sent a message written in the wreckage of those who threatened the innocent. Asterisk.